Welcome to Insightful Player TV on minglemedia.com. My name is Chrissy Carew, and I'm the founder of Insightful Player. I created Insightful Player because I thought we were in desperate need of role models. And Insightful Player features inspiring NFL players that really care about you. They're magnificent role models, and they're unbelievable. I invite you to go to insightfulplayer.com and look at the roster and let us know who you want to have on TV. Who do you want to chat with and meet? So we want Insightful Player TV to be a place where you can check in on a regular basis for, inspiration, education, and eventually entertainment. We want this to be a resource for you to support you in giving you the empowerment to go after your dreams. And if you don't know what they are, is to get on that path of discovery. It's an amazing path and it's so worth it. And we're hoping to combat all that negative news that we get every single day. It's amazing. So we're going to bring you positive news all the time and share stories of these wonderful, wonderful players who are fabulous. And tonight we have back, upon popular demand and your request, Reggie Kelly. Reggie Kelly was one of the very first Insightful players to join the roster. And I'll tell you, I've learned so much from him. He's such an inspiration. He's absolutely incredible. He's, I think, going into his 13th year in the NFL. He married his high school sweetheart, Sheila, and they have a beautiful marriage, and they have two beautiful children, Kyla and Kaven. And Reggie's also an entrepreneur. He just launched a product, this mouth-watering salsa called Kaven, which he named after his two children. And he's also an author. He recently released a book called Prepared. It is amazing. What it does is he talks about his own personal experience and relates it to passages from the Bible. It's really inspiring. It's for the mind, the body, and the soul. I highly recommend it. It's a great book. Couldn't put it down. And he's going to talk more about it tonight. So he's the role model of all role models, and he's someone that is really amazing at overcoming adversity and being a tremendous model for that. Welcome, Reggie. Oh, oh, it's great to have you. My goodness, everybody. We got tons of emails. Everyone said, "Bring him back, bring him back." So you're in, you're in big demand. You, I know. Yeah, you're easy to like, Reggie. You're really easy to like. So we have a lot to talk about. Just a quick question: what do you think's going to happen with the NFL? Are you able to say anything about that? Yeah, it's been a long haul, huh? Right. So it's for the goodness of all. That's what it sounds like. Mhm. Mhm. Wow. Well, it's amazing. I'm sure a lot of good will come out of this, Reg. And it sounds like you guys are really bonding as well. Good. Well, thanks for. No, no, go ahead. I think we have a little delay. You go ahead. Mm-hmm. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're rooting for you, Reg. That's for sure. Well, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Um, you have this fabulous book. I wanted to show it to everybody again. It's called Prepared. Use the, yeah, you show it. Let's do it together. Yeah, in concert. Here we go. Um, it's a beautiful book. Hold it up as much as you want, Reggie. Throughout the, it's a beautiful book, and there's this. Yeah, let's just do it again. We'll do it all night. There's so much. What I love about it. It's your personal story, um, and and coupled with the Bible. It's just so inspiring, and it's so great to get to know about you and some of the obstacles you came up against and really tackled. But let's tell the viewers a little bit about where you were before you were a sophomore in college. When you were the big dog, Mr. Popular, and let the viewers know a little bit about the big dog because then they can really appreciate where you are today. Where have you been since you were sophomore year in college, where all your teammates call you Rev, short for the Reverend. Mm-hmm. Wow, it sounds like it was a miracle, that you divine intervention. You know, it's really that's a beautiful story, Reggie. So you were able to avoid all that temptation once you turned your life over to Jesus. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. We all make mistakes. That's a given, right? And I think being perfect would be boring. um, okay. um, and so part of the book, there were so many stories that I loved. Some of them I didn't know. Um, the one on the preparation of the mind, the Mr. Know It All versus wisdom, and your experience with the hostile fans. Can you share that story? Because that's pretty incredible. You did? Mm-hmm. Right. Right, and from what I've heard from the other guys, that you don't give just a little bit more, you give a lot more, and they really value your mentorship. Yes, they talk about you. Right. Right. Yeah, it's very contagious. But that was a huge shift that you made, and that's an amazing story. Did someone help you along the way? Because that's a huge distinction, from going from me to we. Is there anyone there that supported you or challenged you to knock it off, or? Well, I'm so glad you have Sheila, and she's been lovely to work with on my end as well. And I love how much you're in love with her. And that's such an important point. We all need support. And that's one of the reasons why we created Insightful Player, is to inspire mentorship out in the world, so more people will mentor the youth, especially, and because none of us can do it alone, and we sometimes get stuck in that trap thinking we can, and we just get so one-dimensional. So it's a really great message, um, Reggie. And you had another message in the book that about talking about regret, and and that big game, and was it 2002 with the Green Bay Packers? Green Bay, Um, I mean, that's a great story. I mean, there are so many great stories that we could talk about, but um, that must have been frustrating. Do you want to share a little tidbit on that? Huh. I like that. Wow. Wow. Oh, you do? You have the game ball? That's awesome. That's awesome. So, and so that story is really a great story, and we talk about regret because everyone has those feelings of regret. And, you had it publicly in front of the whole world, unfortunately, which makes it more intense. So, what can you say? Yeah. And millions and millions and probably zillions. And what can you say to our viewers that maybe feel frustrated because or are beating themselves up because they missed something, they made a mistake, or they're really torturing themselves? What can you say to them? Because you learned a lot through that experience right here in this book. He shares it all. Right. Absolutely. Hmm. Okay. Oh, love that. Wow. And that's something that I've noticed about you is, you always seem to ask yourself right in the middle of a challenge, okay, what can I gain from this? Your ability to expand your perspective is like amazing, Reggie. It's incredible. And everyone else out there can do that too, you know, to think of what good could come from this, right? Because it's, go ahead. Right. Wow. I could listen to you all day. You're very inspiring, and again, you make it much bigger than you. You know, it's not all. It's not a. You know, you're not self-involved. You're just so open, and your perspective is huge, and the whole purpose thing is awesome, and that really does help us expand our perspective. And one of the things I always think of when adversity shows up, and it always does, is that okay, I feel like it's not. It always does. It's not that God wants something from me. God wants something for me. And what is it that God wants for me? You know, and that helps. That really helps. You know, when in adversity. Um, so no, they're yours. No, they're all yours. We're a team, right? We're a team. You know. Um, you should speak to all the NFL players like this, and I think the owners and the players, if you could get in front of a room of owners and players, boom, everything would be settled. I believe that. Reggie for president. Do you have a few more minutes? I don't want to. Uh, uh, I mean, just there's just oh, good. There's just so much in this beautiful book. I just want. Why don't you hold yours up too? Let's do it together. Um, prepared. Look at that face. He's so proud, and he should be. Um, it's it's very inspiring. You should get this for your kids, but parents, you read it too. Um, another piece in there is you know, from when I first met you, you were on injured reserve, and and that was in 2009, right? And playing for the Bengals, and I was astounded by your attitude. I mean, it was in preseason, right? Wasn't it preseason when you got hurt? And then you couldn't play that whole, yeah, you couldn't play that whole year. And tell us how you got through that, because I know that had to have been enormously disappointing, to say the least. Right. Wow. Oh yeah. Oh. You are. Right. Right. Wow. That's beautiful. That's that is amazing. It, it, absolutely. And I think one of the things, Reggie, that makes it you able to do that is you're so willing to face those feelings of disappointment, sadness. You said you had cried many nights. I mean, you're so willing not to shove it under the rug, but look at head in the head on, whatever that expression is, and and really feel it and experience. Oh, so you could release it, right? And you could be more present, and it sounded like you surrendered, and then that gave you the to start thinking that, oh my, um, well, what if it isn't over now, and that just gave you that internal drive to work harder. So that's incredible because a lot of people don't are too afraid to face those kinds of emotions, and that's why I brought that up because I that's one of the thing another thing one of the many things I admire about you, and you're so open about it. You're getting her done all the time, Reg. That's for sure. And my earbuds keep falling out, or this one does anyway. And it's so touching when you're on purpose, you know, and you're such a role model for being on purpose. You just deeply touch people, like your teammate, like those other people that come up to you. It just, it's really, that's what why we're here, isn't it? To really love and be loved, and that's what you're about. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Yes. It's awful. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is so worth it. And there are a lot of kids out there that don't have that love that you had with your parents, that I also had with my parents. And I think we all need to be on the lookout for that. And that's why Insightful Player was one of the biggest reasons it was created, is to inspire mentorship and to get more people just paying more attention to your neighbor, or you know kids on the playground that are by themselves, or I mean, this it's just heartbreaking, and it's even tough to grow up when you have great parents. You know, when you don't have that leadership, um, that's really tough. It, and you said something really important that I've noticed as a coach for many years, is that the human race, we all crave acknowledgement, you know, and encouragement, and we just don't get it. You know, it just doesn't happen that often, right? And so that's another thing that you're doing in the world, and it's so important. And maybe we can challenge our viewers tonight to pick up the phone, or to talk to someone in your house and just tell them how much you care about them and why. Just let them know why you think they're special. You know, maybe everybody could do that. I don't know how many people are watching, but um, that would be a great thing. And do it now, right? Gotta get Nike to sponsor it, right? Yeah, do it. And, and one more point I'd love to ask is, and it so ties it all together. You talk about the distinction being about being unique versus being accepted, and that whole uniqueness, about being on purpose. Can you say a little bit about that? Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, right, right, right. Absolutely. And everyone has gifts, and people have to know that. Mm-hmm. Right, right, right. I love that. I'm gonna. Mm, wow. Thank you, Reggie. That was great. Now, where can everyone get this fabulous book? Prepared. Well, that's great. Maybe we could do a teleclass on your book and invite everyone to come for free. What do you think of that? That uh, yeah, right, right, yeah. Well, thank you so much, and um, we're going to have you on again. I mean, for sure, your message is beautiful. Any last parting words you want to leave, Reg? Thank you, Reggie, and thanks Sheila too for all her help. can tell. I can tell. All right. Thanks, Reg. We'll have you on again soon. Okay, you too. All right. So, Reggie, boy, that was such a treat. I hope you really enjoyed him. We'll have him back again for sure since you all asked for him to come back already. So, well, maybe we'll have him back again next month. He has so many beautiful messages. So, let us know, what you're doing and what you want us to bring on this show for you. It's all for you. Jump on the chat, talk to Reggie, talk to our players. They really want to support you. And next week, we're going to have Kevin Riley on, and he'll be very inspiring. He's an insightful player that came on the roster really early, too, and you'll love his story. It's amazing. His career in the NFL came to a screeching halt because he had cancer, and he just is so inspiring. You won't believe it. He lost his arm, part of his shoulder and his ribs, and they told him he'd never tie a tie again, and he was tying a tie in 2 weeks. And within, I forget, a few more weeks than that, he was playing racquetball. Can you imagine? And he is unbelievable. He runs in marathons. He even plays golf, and he's one of the best putters out there. So come back next week and join us, and come into the chat and speak to our guest. And thank you so much. You have a fabulous week. And go out there and encourage someone today. Thank you. Good night.